Namaste and good morning to all my dear children. First of all, sorry for the late. Okay, in this video, I will explain to you about the concept force. Yeah, the word force we will use in daily life. Is it, sir, while we are playing, while we are lifting something harder object or a lighter object, isn't it? While doing some work, we will use the word force very fluently and very familiar, isn't it? The force is very familiar with us. Then what is exactly force? What is exactly force? Do you know? Yes, the force is nothing but it is defined in physics as push or a pull on an object. That is push or pull on an object. This push or a pull on an object is called as force. My dear children, see here, push or a pull on an object is called force. But we will apply the force for many works, isn't it? For pushing, pulling, lifting, isn't it? If something we are lifting, then also we will apply force. Suppose we are hitting a nail or someone, we are hitting to someone, at that time also we will apply force. Okay, and picking something, okay, and kicking a ball, isn't it? At that time also we will apply force. But leaving these things, okay, these activities or these words we have taken in definition, that is only push or a pull. Why? Are you getting my point? Only we have taken here push or a pull. What about these things? Lifting, hitting, picking, kicking, and flicking. Isn't it? What about these things? Is it? Yeah, that is, I will clear that one. That is, one by one I will explain here. Suppose, what's the exact thing is, all these are grouped under push or a pull. All these, that is pushing, pulling, lifting, hitting, picking, kicking, throwing, all these activities or all these words are grouped under push or pull. How, sir? See, I will explain. That is pushing. First one is pushing. Suppose we are pushing something, okay, pushing the door. At that time, we will apply force, isn't it? That is pushing the door. Pushing the door is grouped under push only. Okay, there is no difference. Then, second one we have pull. Suppose we are pulling the door, isn't it? We are opening the door. At that time, we will apply force. Okay, here also no change. That is pull. Okay, that push or a pull is a force. Here two are understood. Then third one we have lifting. You suppose we are lifting a dumbbells, okay, we are lifting something lighter or a harder object. At that time also we will apply the force, isn't it? Then lifting. While lifting, we are pulling something. Suppose if we are pulling this bottle, sorry, if we are lifting this bottle, isn't it? At that time we are pulling the object. At that time we are pulling that object, isn't it? It is grouped under pull. Are you getting my point? Is it clear? Yeah. Then fourth one we have that is hitting. If suppose we are hitting someone, isn't it? If we are hitting someone on you move banana modity, sir, isn't it? Exactly, that is here we are pushing. We are pushing. That is here hitting comes under push. Are you getting my point? Then picking. Suppose a many group of books are there. Isn't it? Many books are there. In that we are picking only one. Okay, in that we are picking only one. That is picking. Here we are pulling, isn't it? Here we are pulling the book, one book, isn't it? We are pulling one book. That is, the picking will come under pull. Okay, then kicking. If we are kicking a ball, then we are applying push, isn't it? We are pushing the ball by leg, isn't it? Are you understanding my point? Where by kicking the ball, we are applying the force with the help of leg. That will come under push. Okay, suppose a stone is thrown by us. ಒಂದು ಕಲ್ಲು ಹೊಡಿಲಿಕತ್ತೀವಿ. At that time, we are forcing. I mean, that is, we are pushing the stone, isn't it? That comes under push. That's why these pushing, pulling, lifting, hitting, picking, kicking, flicking, all these are grouped under push or pull. Grouped under push or pull. Okay, all these words are considered are grouped under push or a pull. That's why the definition of force is push or a pull. If it is not considered as a push or pull, then the definition will become, the definition of force will be pushing, pulling, lifting, hitting, like that. It will become lengthier, isn't it? That's why these all activities are considered under or grouped under push or pull. Now it is easy. That is, what is force? That is, force is nothing but a push or a pull on an object. Okay, whatever it may be. Kainintan hakri, kalintan hakri. Okay, that is nothing but a push or a pull on an object is called force. First thing is clear. Then move to the next. What is the unit of force? Second thing we have unit of force. What is exactly unit? Unit means one, isn't it? In mathematics or physics, that is, unit means one. But here, unit of force. Unit of force. See, in standard standard you have learned about the distance and speed, velocity, isn't it? Yeah. Now, here point A to point B, a line is there. Okay. How you will measure the distance from A to B? How you will measure the distance from A to B? With the help of scale, sir. With the help of scale. Then how you will convert this in, sir? 10 kg adre, sir. You will tell that. Sir, A to B distance is 10 kg. You will tell? No, sir. That is measured in meter or a centimeter, isn't it? That is measured in meter. Okay. The speed of an any vehicle is measured in meter per second. These are the units. Like that, what is the unit of force? What is the unit of force? The unit of force is capital N. What is capital N? That is Newton. What is that? Newton. Also we can write it as a like this. Why the force of unit or a unit of force is Newton? Because a great scientist called Sir Isaac Newton is contributed the SI unit of force, because he has explained the force in his law, that is second law of motion. That's why this name is, so this unit is given by Sir Isaac Newton, a great scientist. Okay, we have to indicate. Suppose I am applying force on this object. Suppose I am applying force on this object. Okay, suppose I am applying 10 Newton. That is 10 Newton. Whether I have to write like this is correct. Otherwise, I have to write 10 Newton. 10 Newton, isn't it? It is also correct. But don't write like this. 10 Newton. This will be wrong. Why, sir? Because this Newton will indicate the name of the person or a Einstein's, scientist, isn't it? Sorry. This name will indicate the scientist name. That's why we have to indicate 10 Newton like this with a capital N or a small n Newton. We have to write totally Newton, then write like this. If you want to write only capital N, it is also correct, but this is wrong. Okay, keep it in your mind. Then what is the unit of force? That is Newton or a Newton. This Newton. Suppose this is the object of 10 kg. This is the object of 10 kg. Okay, a person is applying force on it. A person is applying force in this direction. A person is applying force in this direction. How much force is applying? Suppose take it as a 10 Newton. Okay, a person is applying 10 Newton force to 10 kg object. Then what is the reaction here? See, then the object will move. See, if suppose I am applying a force here in this direction, which direction it will move? Yes sir, simply it will move in the same direction. Okay, here also the object will move in this direction, isn't it? Yes, and this is called as unbalanced force. You will learn balanced and unbalanced force in 9th standard, but I will just introduce here. This is called as unbalanced force. Unbalanced force. Okay, here the object is moving. Okay, when we will apply 10 Newton of force, then the 10 kg of the object will move. Then at that time we will call that is the unbalanced force. See here, if another person will apply here, another person will apply opposite to this person, that is same 10 Newton. What is the direction of object here? Yav kade hogtadri iವಾಗ object? Here also same force and here also same force. Whether it will move, sir, ee kade nintunu same force haklekattanri, ee kade nintunu same force. Whether the object will move? No sir. That time the object will be in the rest. Because here force is 10 Newton and here is also a force is 10 Newton. At that time this object will be in the rest. Okay, at that time this force is called as balanced force. Which force? Balanced force. And this one is called as balanced force. Okay, are you getting my point? If the object is in a rest position, at that time at that position there is a balanced force is applying on that object. If that is moving somewhere, ಯಾವುದಾದ್ರೂ direction na ಹೋಗ್ಲಿ, okay, at that time that is called as unbalanced force. Okay, at that time the object is moving, that's why it is called as unbalanced force. And if the object is in rest, then it is called as balanced force. Pakka? Yeah. Then one more example I will give you. See, this is the object of 100 kg. The object is 100 kg. Okay, here one person is applying 15 Newton force. Here one person is applying 15 Newton force. Whether it will move? Sir, not possible. It is 100 kg ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗ್ತದೆ, isn't it? That's why he want one more person to pull in the same direction. Sorry, push in the same direction. Okay, one more person is also applying 50 Newton, suppose. Okay, whether at that time the object will move? Yes sir, compulsory or compulsory it will move in the same direction to the force. At that time, what is the total force here? What is the total force here? Total force is 50 plus 50, 100 Newton. Here the total force or a net force. Net force applying on this object is 100 Newton. Samajh mein raha baat? Are you getting? Yes, that is, if a person is applying, if both the persons are applying 50 Newton and 50 Newton force, then the net force is 100 Newton. Okay, at that time the object will be moving. Each time object will be moving. Suppose one more, take one more condition, that is same as it is 100 kg object. Okay, here a person is applying 50 Newton force and from here he is also applying 50 Newton. Whether the object will move? No sir, because it is balanced force. That's why object will be in rest position. At that time, the net force established. What is the net force here? Here the net force is 100. Why? Because the object is moving. Because why the object is moving? If both the forces are equal and opposite. If both the forces are equal and opposite, at that time the object is in rest position. Okay. Then what is the net force here? That is 0. That is 0 because it is in the rest position. That's why the net force applying on this object is 0. Okay. If that object is moving, while applying the force, then the net force is we have to add both the forces. At that time, we will get the net force. If the position of the object is in rest, we have to minus these things. Equal forces are there and opposite forces. Okay, that's why. One more example I will give you so that you will be very clear about these things. Balanced and unbalanced force. Same as it is, that is 100 kg object. Okay, from this direction it is applying 17 Newton force. From this direction is applying 17 Newton. Okay, otherwise I will take easily you can 70 kg. Okay, 70 kg object, and here from here is applying 70 Newton force. From here another person is applying 15 Newton force. Okay, that is an object of 70 kg. That's it is applying force from this direction, that is 70 Newton, and from this direction is applying 15 Newton. Then what is the net force here? Can you give me the answer? That is, what is the net force here? 70 plus 50, that is 120. Whether the 120 is the net force? No, sir. Only 70 minus 50, that is 20 Newton is the force. Okay, well, we have to, because the opposite direction or opposite forces have to be subtracted. Yes, subtracted. That's why the total net force here is 20. Okay, here the object will move, but slowly. Yaಕೆ sir, ikkadinta ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಫೋರ್ಸ್ ಹಾಕ್ಲಿಕ್ಕಂತಂದ್ರಿ, ikkadinta ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಫೋರ್ಸ್ ಹಾಕ್ಲಿಕ್ಕಂತಂದ್ರಿ. At that time the object will not move forcibly, it will move literally. ಶಕ್ತಿ ಹಾಕಿ ಹೋಗೋಣ. Okay, and you can also see the balanced and unbalanced force in school, that is seesaw ಆಡ್ತಿರ್ತಿರಲ್ರಿ. At that time if ಯಾರನ್ನ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಒಜ್ಜಿದ್ದವ್ರು ಕುಂತ್ರೆ, that will be like this. If you are both are same, then that should be in a balance. Okay, this is about balanced and unbalanced force, and as well as this is the unit of forces. Are you getting my point? Yeah. Next thing I have to explain, that is effect of forces. Sir, bare aವಾಗ force ಅನ್ನಕತ್ತೀರಿ ಸರ್, ಏನ್ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು ಸರ್ force? Sir, force ಇತ್ತಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಸರ್ ಮೂಗ್ನೆ ರಕ್ತ ಬರಂಗ್ ಹೊಡಿಬಹುದ್ರಿ ಸರ್. Isn't it? Just now I have showed you, that is pushing an object or pushing or hitting to the person, that shows the okay, what is the effect of force? First one is, that is force can create a motion. Force can create the motion. Okay, force can create the motion. See here, whether the force will create the motion. Yes, I will explain you. That is, if suppose this duster is in stationary or a rest position, if an external force or an unbalanced force is applying on it, whether it will move, yes sir, it is moving, then the force will create the motion. One more example, take that is, if we are riding a bicycle, if we are riding a bicycle, when we will apply the force, that is we will apply the force on the pedals, that is we will push the pedals, isn't it? We will push the pedals. Push is nothing but a force. Push or pull of an object is nothing but a force, that is we are pushing the object. At that time, that creates the motion. Are you getting my point? That is force can create the motion. First one is understood. Is it clear? If any substance is to be moved or should be in a motion, then we have to apply the force. Okay? It is very necessary to apply the force. Okay. First one, effect of force is, that is force can create the motion. Are you getting my point? That is first one is over. Then second one, that is force can stop the motion. Force can stop the motion. Force can stop the motion. How, sir? We are, suppose, first example I have taken, that is we are pushing the pedals. At that time the motion will be continuous. Now here the cycle is in motion. Suppose cycle now okay, we are riding the bicycle. At that time the force can stop the motion. See here, at that time suppose suppose we will pull the brakes, isn't it? We will pull the brakes. Pulling shows that that is the force. We will apply the force to stop the bicycle. Samajh mein aa that is, are you clear? That is, suppose the bicycle is in motion. At that time we will pull the brakes. At that time that stops the bicycle. That stops the motion or a motion of a bicycle. Okay, force can create the motion as well as force can stop the motion. Sir, you bare cycle ashte tagondri sir. Nodamri naale bandu train nindrisri. Sir, suppose if I want to stop the train, then I have to apply more force on it. So inga naagi jaggi nindirbekagtade. Otherwise they have to put the brakes, isn't it? That will pull the brakes. The push or pull of an object, that shows the force. Okay, both these are clear? Yes. Then third one we have force can change the speed of speed. Okay, force can change the speed. Force can change the speed. Hang sir. Suppose we are riding a bicycle. Suppose onto sir nan bicycle mala hindini nan friend bekanta dabbi bittari sir. Avu hogi nan moreg biddu bittare. Isn't it? Yeah. Suppose we are riding a bicycle. At that time a person is pushed from back side. A person pushed from back side. Automatically the speed is increased. Suppose hogta the bibitary, at that time the speed is increased. That means change in the speed. Okay, that shows the change in the speed. Okay. Sir, our double. Suppose onto sir na saukasha bicycle mela sudden agi eladbittare sir cycle. Sudden agi hinge eladbittare. At that time speed will change. Is it? At that time the speed will change. Isn't it? That's why what he did, that is he is first, in the first case pushed is nothing but a force. He is applied the force. In second time he pulled the bicycle. At that time he is applied the force only. That shows that force can change the speed. Pakka is the point. Then move to the fourth point. That is, force can change the direction of motion. Force can change the direction of motion. How, sir? Force can change the direction of motion. How? Suppose we are playing a cricket and suppose you are cycle is atta. Okay. Suppose we are playing a cricket. Bowler, the direction of the ball is from this side. Bowler e kade the ball haklegate. Okay. The direction of ball is this side. But The batsman apply the force with the help of bat, that is like this. E type happen. The direction of ball will changes to hing bartitri ball. Direction of ball is this side, but he applied the push or he applied the force. It is he pushed the ball to this side, and the direction of ball is changed. Okay, the direction of the ball is changed. That means the motion is changed. Which that is direction of the motion is changed. We can tell that the motion of the direction is changed. Okay, one more example. If we are playing football on the computer, okay, football oditi sir. So direction of the ball or direction of motion of the ball is this side. Suppose ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾರನ್ನ ನಮ್ಮಂತ ಶಾಣ ಇದ್ದ ಅವಾಗ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರಿ ಸರ್ ಈ ಕಡೆ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಷನ್ ತೋರಿಸಿದ. At that time the ball will go to this side. At that time the motion will be changes. I mean that is the direction of the motion will changes, isn't it? At that time he pushed the ball. He pushed the ball. At that time he pushed the ball. That means he applied the force on it. That's why it can change the direction of the motion. The fourth point is clear. That is force can change the direction of motion. Pakka clear? Then last point we have, that is force can change the shape of object. Force can change the shape of an object. How, sir? Force can change the shape of object. Suppose it's the shape of an object. Engadre rectangular shape. Sir, if I will push from my hands or fingers, whether its shape will changes to some different. Its shape is changes. Yes, sir. Simple. Sir, you sponjada madiri, kallig madiri. Sir, if I have to do on a stone, if I want to apply the more force, kallu tondu idu kodutindi. At that time, the shape of the stone will also changes. Okay, that is force can change the shape of an object. Simply as we apply the force on this, or we will push. At that time, we will different shape in this object. Okay, simply that is spring. Okay, spring that is I will push, I will pull. At that time force can change the shape of an object, isn't it? That is about the force can change the shape of an object. Okay, the 5 points are very important. That is force can create the motion as well as force can stop the object or stop the motion, as well as force can change the speed. Then force can change the direction of motion, as well as force can change the shape of an object. Okay. Yes. Here in this video we have studied about, that is what is force and what